You said earlier, and I love this answer that you gave when I asked you about, what energy do you want to give out to people? And you actually flipped it on its head, and it was a great answer, is that you were like, well, actually, I just notice potential in people. And I was wondering, when you see someone who you see potential in, but they don't see potential in themselves, how do you respond to that? I'm sure you meet people like that all the time, where you see that.
I used to be relentless about pushing people towards it, and they then built up a sort of defense with me because it was like they weren't ready for it. And so I've learned over the years to maybe keep it to myself and kind of like nudge people and more like ask questions and let them come to it themselves. Because like the more they feel like it was their idea and you just sort of like serve up the prompts for them to sort of think about it and reflect on it. And they're either going to bite and be into it or they're not. And that's their journey. And like, even though they're not happy, even though they're stuck, even though like it could be so much better. But if that's their life choice, you kind of have to also respect the journey,
Yeah, definitely. You've said a few times, another pattern that I'm hearing is, and I really appreciate it, is your approach to like just not forcing people to change, or not judging someone, or not making someone feel like you're preaching to them or teaching them or coaching them. Like I can see that from your approach, that's not how you think about it. And you really want people to come to things at their own time and in their own pace, and even in their own way that it's their idea, as you just said. Is that something you think you've experienced as well, and that's why you believe in it so much? Or is it something that, or is that something that you saw because maybe you were quite preached to and taught and judged and coached, and you realized that people didn't respond to that so much?
I think it was more of like me learning how people, like I was like, who are the people who I've seen potential in, and they've like they break through and they actually like move in that direction. And then I see potential in others and they're like, no. And so I guess it's just being mindful of maybe it's my kids. I think my kids have taught me a lot about that. The more I tell them something, the more they resist and they look at it as parenting, and I'm just bossing them around. And my honor even told me last night, it was so annoying, and over like something so stupid. Anyway, she wants to redo her room, and I'm like, cool. So I'm like, Pinterest board, like show me your inspo. And she was like, and my friend, she just redid her room and she has like all these plants and it's very bohemian and I love it so much and da-da-da. And I was like, did her mom help her with it? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. How does that make you feel? And she was like, it doesn't make me feel like anything. I think it's great. Her mom's really nice. And I was like, cool. And she was like, Mom, I just want this to be my project and I don't want you to, tell me what to do, or I don't want your advice on, what you like. She's like, I want to come to these thoughts on my own, and she's like, she's so sweet, her little soul, but she's, the way she puts it to me, it just makes it so clear how people process, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I get a lot of my lessons, is just the way that my oldest especially reacts off of me on simple things, and then you can kind of apply it to more complex things.
Yeah, definitely. I love that example.